All right, so this is the part where we wait for our founder. The webinar will begin in 8 minutes. So how is everyone? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone in the Moo Crew. All right, let's wait for people to come in. And in the meantime, I will be playing some very nice elevator music. All right. Love this music. Room's filling up. Guys, if you are watching the stream right now, say hello with a capital exclamation point. Capital exclamation point. Say yes with a massive exclamation point at the very end. There we go. Yes, Ivan. We are in fact 5 minutes early. I think this is just a good practice to make sure that people can start coming in before the actual webinar starts. So we don't have any dead air, and we can start right away for the scheduled time slot. Good to see you, Ivan. Good to see you, Renvir. All right. People coming in. You guys might want to start preparing your questions. This is going to be a very juicy webinar. All right, room's filling up. 8 people so far. Keep them coming, guys. Hello to you too, Mark. Welcome to the webinar. So out of curiosity, please share your time zone in the comments. I'd like to know, are you guys coming from EDT? Are you coming from Central, Singapore time, Philippine time? It's pretty much the same thing. Leave it in the comments down below. Are you from IST? Would love to know your time zones, people. GMT +8. All right. My favorite time zone. The only time zone where I don't have to do any math. It's morning in Toronto. UTC -5. Ah, I didn't know that that's the time zone you called for Toronto. Fascinating. IST for Envir. The webinar will begin in 3 minutes. Hope you guys are ready. Hello, Arko. Good to see you. Some familiar faces, familiar names here. All right. The webinar will begin in 1 minute. And we do have our founder, Daniel, in the audience and in the backstage right now. Good morning, David. It's actually evening over here, but good morning to you. Hello, Taylor. Good to see you. All right, 11 people so far. Keep them coming, guys. I am based in the Philippines, David. Thank you for asking. Same time zone as Ken, actually. Okay, so we can begin. We are right on the 1 hour mark. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and CEO of WriterZen, Daniel Nguyen. Welcome, Dan.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for
Well,
having me.
yes, and thank you for being here. I'm so excited to know more about WriterZen.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
users who have used our tool very familiar with my face, since it's all over our our tool, and I've done quite a bit of videos recording for the tool.
Exactly, and you won LTD of the week, and
Thank
I'm
you.
so curious to know why. So,
Uh,
guys, if you are excited, leave a big capital yes in the comments down below, and we will now begin with the presentation that Dan has prepared. You ready, Dan?
yes, I am.
Fantastic. Well, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, thanks, Dave. I guess thanks, Ken, also for organizing this event, and that I have a chance to an opportunity to share a bit more about WriterZen, a little bit of the background, the stories behind, and also maybe do a bit of demo of what we are all about for those who still on the fence of not yet or purchasing the tool and whatnot. But those who are already in the tool, perhaps there's a few things in which in our sharing is something that you have not known yet. So yeah, thank you very much, Dave and Ken. So to begin, I guess just a really quick sort of like capture of what WriterZen is all about. WriterZen is a consolidated SEO content writing platform. We try to cover all steps of SEO campaigns, from planning to all the way to researching and then execution, right? And I guess one of the things that differentiate us from a lot of other competitors is that we actually put a lot of focus on the entire workflow instead of just the single features. You know how like if you do SEO, right, you usually have to kind of use a lot of different tools, and each tool will serve as one single features. For us, each feature, each of them work, but it should only serve like one part of your journey, the whole SEO journey, because SEO is actually quite complex, technical, and require you to do several steps at once, right? It's not just like you do one thing and then it will work. So that's what we're trying to solve, trying to provide our users with the entire workflow. We try to provide some unique features in which some other tools do not have. Like we create this very unique one called Golden Filter, where we utilize our own title data in order to quickly find like very high performance long tail keywords, and also build in keyword cluster to help users kind of group keywords together into an article list. Um, so those are what WriterZen is all about, right? I think the key things, the key takeaway here is that please don't take us as like a one single features. Just don't like, oh, WriterZen, they do these things only. But we really try to provide you with the entire complex workflow of SEO campaigns. How did we come to that? I mean, a bit background of ourselves, right? We actually, our background is a digital content SEO agency. We've done that for about 6 years prior. One of our co-founder have had like 10 years in experience of doing SEO. And so during this whole time of doing SEO and then SEO agency, we did all kind of projects, big and small. And we find a lot of gaps. And as well as we see the progression of Google in the past 10 years, right? There's few things that we saw. The first thing is that most tools are way too technical. I mean, most people who use, let's say, Ahrefs, you probably utilize about 10% of the tool. I'm talking your majority, right? Or like even SEMrush and whatnot. It provides you with like this sea of data that a lot of time are unnecessary, right? If you actually useful for SEO, for most use cases, you need probably about 20% of those kind of data. So first thing we see is that, man, just too many tools with too many data. We try to take out as much as possible. So what we do first thing is that we try to kind of make it simpler, right? Take out the data which we don't think matter that much, so that people could just focus on what really matter. Second thing is that Google gets really smart now, right? In the past 10 years, they progressively become extremely intelligent machine, and their AI is slowly kind of now able to kind of detect, even understand the meaning of the things you write, right? So talking about SEO, there's two things. One is you have to make sure Google understand that you are the expert, so you are kind of show them. But Google is not like human. When a human read a certain context, they will understand like what content are good for what, but the bot does not. So back in the day, like let's say 2012, right? Google detect this by kind of deciphering different signal, like, oh, does this website have a lot of backlinks, and does this website have a lot of the keyword? That's called keyword density. So back in the day, some website would just throw in a bunch of different backlinks and then put in a bunch of keywords in there, and they would rank. But that no longer is the case, right? 10 years now, and Google has progressively become extremely intelligent machine. And as they become more and more intelligent, one thing only matters is your content, right? If you write very good, very valuable content, extremely quality, you will win at SEO, because that's how Google will become. They become very smart that they will be able to detect, and they will tell whether or not you are good. And second thing is how you organize your content. You have to structure your content in a way that when a Google bot go into your website, they realize that you are the authority of the topic that you try to talk about, right? And the definition of expertise and authoritativeness and trustworthiness are all there, right? It's just how real life is. If you are a authority in your zone, you know your stuff, you're an expert in it, you will understand, and you will provide the kind of content that's good and valuable for an user. So we saw this, and we realized that while this is going to be SEO in the next 5 to 10 years, and that is the beginning of WriterZen, right? We want to build a tool that focus on the entire workflow from start to finish, and we want to build a tool where we take out the things in which does not matter as much, and help user focus on only the data that actually matter, right? So that's basically the story of how we come about and we create WriterZen. Yeah. Should I do like a demo or
No, no,
or do
that
you have like other questions?
I love that. That was fantastic. You really summarized it so well. And I'm learning a lot. I didn't know that SEO was headed in that direction. I always thought it would be like, keyword stuffing, and man, that's such a dated concept at this point.
Well,
um,
it will become, it will not, it will become more obsolete. Like backlinks, for
yeah,
example, you start to see a lot of people now doing SEO without even use the backlink, and they will be able to rank. And also, I think another misunderstanding a lot of people who do SEO is you think of, people tend to think SEO just like any other marketing campaign, which you do and then
right.
you right away get your return. But SEO is a very long period of work, right? And also the return also require a long waiting time as well.
Yeah,
And the thing is, people keep thinking that the moment your keyword rank, that's the end of SEO. That's the horribly wrong perception of doing SEO. It's not about getting your keyword rank, but it's getting about it gets your keyword rank and it stay there. Right. So a lot of people just talk about the ranking part, but they don't talk about the staying part. But the staying is it's all that matters, because if you don't stay, how are you going to get the traffic continuously pump in, right?
right.
And the more keyword you get ranking and staying, the easier it is for other keyword to build on top of that, because you have a very strong foundation. But if you keyword just rank, and then Google will, well, you know that Google testing it, right? Like for example, you suddenly in top 50 and you pump right away, get on top, but you're only there for 2 weeks. Why? Because Google will measure right away whether or not your content is valuable. So they will actually measure the engagement of the user when they go into your website. So when you get on top, right away you get organic traffic, the traffic go into your website. Now they're gonna measure the engagement. They'll see, okay, how long did they read? Did they actually read your content? Did they scroll down? Where did they scroll down? At the CTA, at each of the internal linking, did they click on it? Did they actually engage with your content? And if all of the data indicate that the user does not find your content valuable, you will drop. I'm pretty certain, because we've gone through so many cases like that where we get the keyword ranked, we're like, oh yeah, it's ranked now, traffic going in, and then 2 weeks later, drop. And what are you gonna do, right? And so SEO is ranking is one thing, lasting is another thing, and long lasting is the key to SEO. So, and the only way to do that is to build something so fundamentally foundational. So you have to make sure that you have all the structure in place first before even you try to do anything. So like a lot of tool now in the market is like, hey, oh yeah, just write, block right away, use AI writing tool, and just like pump out content and try to rank a keyword. But what is the structure? Where the traffic go in, where do they go? How are they going to convert into paying customer? Or do you just try to get traffic in no matter what, at what cost? If a traffic go in and you don't draw them a journey for them, so they simply just go in, read the content, and they're like, okay, there's nothing else, I'm going to go out. That's you so that's like you just stop at getting traffic, but you don't get to the end where you convert them into paying customer, right? So our way of doing is build a very concrete structure. Guide your users when they go into the first top of the funnel, right? They read your content and they will feel curious enough to click on the second article. They go into the second article, that's the middle of the funnel. They, oh wow, these guys really cover a lot of this topic. And you drive them into the bottom of the funnel and you convert them. You always have to build that with intention. And the only way to do that is to actually put thoughts into the research process. You can't, SEO is not running an ads. SEO is like, you really have to plan, research, and articulate the journey of each traffic that go into your website. That's the I think the finest definition of inbound marketing, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. So I hope that kind of get out of the way. So because a lot of our users thought, oh, WriterZen, you're just another keyword research tool. Yeah, we do have that. We don't think keyword research is the key to your SEO. Keyword research is a part of the entire goal in which you need to do. It's only a part. Just like writing a craft content, right? like content creator tool, our tool, just like Phrase, for example, right? Or any other crafting content tool. But that's a part of it. You can use Phrase, you can use that. But before that, you have to develop a plan. So, yeah, it took
I
us a long
love
time
that.
to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So just to clarify, I'm curious. Does the SEO? I mean, does the content? Is it specifically for blogs, foremost
Yeah, at the
at the
moment we
moment?
build SEO purely for blog. But I'm sure in the future, I'm not sure. I mean, in future, I'm sure we'll expand to some other things, you know. But I tend to not like to talk about future updates
Yeah.
uh, because we're not sure. Really, we ourselves not sure. We just know that for this particular things, we know what we're doing. I'll share with you a bit of the future timeline plan toward the end of the demonstration, right? But yeah, but at the moment, we're focused purely on blog SEO work content. Yeah.
Fantastic. Would you like to take some questions, or would you like to proceed with the demo?
Yeah, I can do I can go into the demo unless people
Okay.
want to have, you know, some questions in which they're curious about what we are or whatnot, or we can do that later on.
Yeah, we can do that later on. We do have one nice comment here. Wow, loved. This is from Michael. Wow, love the fact that you use your own algorithms and not just external APIs.
Uh, we do both. We use both. I want to clarify. We do have our own sort of, with a lot of our algorithm, our home built. But for example, keyword data, we get it directly from Google keyword database because, I mean, I would like to show the keyword directly from the source, right? But yeah, we try to utilize everything, API from other source, but then the analysis of that data coming from directly from our own algorithm.
All right. Well, with that, I think we can proceed with the demo.
Okay. All right. So I think we are at the. Is my screen on? Okay.
There we go.
All right. So well, first of all, let's. I'll share with you a little bit of the structure of the tool, right? So when we build Router. I mean, now is so much different than what we did 7 months ago when we first launched on Absolute. And by the way, this is our final launch ever on lifetime deal platform. Well, we will. This is it. You know, this is it. This is the last time ever we'll actually launch WriterZen. We set a goals that in the first year of our development, we will actually set out to capture early market. So this is actually marking 1 year anniversary of WriterZen, and this is the final end of our early market day. And once we're done with this, we're going to move into the next phase, which is early majority and mainstream market. So once we get to mainstream market, we'll never ever do any type of lifetime deal ever again. So I'll just note that out there. So anyone who's still on the fence, maybe you want to just purchase it and then give it a try first. And if you like it, keep it, because later on, if you find it's too useful or whatnot, this deal will never be available anymore. Okay, so let's get back to our dashboard. So the way we structure is, first of all, we want to kind of welcome people in, with showing them the recommended workflows you can do with WriterZen. We break it down to three sort of category of users: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So if you're a beginner, for example, we have these 6 steps kind of workflows recommend for you, because this is how we actually build the tool for. And the first would be kind of, we show you supply demand principle, which is the most fundamental principle of SEO. Like, you have to imagine SEO in this principle in order for you to kind of imagine and visualize how you plan out your step-by-step workflow, right? And then the second step is you have to be able to kind of form a topic cluster. So what is your pillar page? What is your subtopics? The reason why you need to form this is you need to tell Google that you are an expert in the topic that you try to rank. That's extremely important, because if Google don't find you having an expertise, it's very hard for you to rank on several different topics at once. For example, if you are, let's say a personal trainer, right? So if you are an expert in personal trainer, Google doesn't just like see, like, if you're an expert, it means that you can't just know only about the type of exercise, like how you do exercise and whatnot. You need to also know about nutrition plan, diet plan. You need to know about the metabolism of the food. You know, you need to know about how a person need to rest, like time schedule and whatnot. So all of that are in your knowledge domain. So say if you want to rank for like personal trainer, that is what Google expect. You need to also cover all the other topic as well. So that is the reason why we have these steps. Form a topic cluster, show Google that you are the expert. Talk about all the topic that needed, so that when Google bot go in, they will realize right away, oh, okay, these guys really know what they're talking about. So once you form that, you have a direction. Forming a direction is very important. And then only you will go into keyword research. Then you will utilize, let's say, our golden filter to find out what keyword, because keyword research essentially is to find out what are the demands of your users, right? So the key here is you utilize all to function like golden filter to look for long tail keyword to put it under each the topic and subtopic that you will write about. So once you have a list of keywords, you will go into the next step, which is to form those into different article lists, because a lot of keywords that could rank together, you can group them together. So you can utilize our keyword cluster there. And only then, this is the end of a research phase. You have a main topic, you have all the subtopic to cover, you have all the list of keyword, and then you have all the list of article. So you list out everything in like a mind map structure, right? Only when you're done with that, you can visualize that what article will go with what article. So you link them together. Then you go into to start execution. This is where you start writing your content, and this is where in step 4, I gotta show you how you can build an effective content outline. And then step 5 is where you execute your writing and optimize it, utilize like our plagiarism checker and whatnot. So that's the basically 5 steps. 5-step workflows which we recommend. So just go in here and then watch this workflow. Over here, we also give you like a workflow template. So essentially just click on this and we'll guide you into this Figma file. And for Figma file is very useful because you'll be able to utilize like the whole workflow in sort of like a very well visualized way. So it looks like this. So you see your seed keyword, and then you start with topic discovery here. All right. Oh, good. Wait. All right. You start with the first step, which is topic discovery, and then you find your structure. This is your topic structure, right? And then you go into keyword explorer. So as you can see here, these are all the link to our knowledge base directly to help you to understand exactly how you can utilize the tool. And from here, will show you like how you can filter it out, and you use keyword import. You have some suggested practice here, and then you use content creator, and then finally here. So you can actually just go in and then download the file and just use that as a template for you to build your own SEO campaign. You can access all our knowledge base here. Everything available in form of videos as well as in written form. So that's the dashboard, right? Another things in which I want to notify is if you are new to SEO, or if you're new to the tool and you find everything so overwhelming, you can actually go into a certain tool, like for example, topic discovery, and there's a button here called textbook mode, right? You can turn that on, and right away you will be able to just see the definition of everything that's on the tool very quickly, very easy. Like for example, click on here, you'll hover here, and you will be able to see the content, what it is and what it means. As you can see, as you hover. All right, so it's very useful for you to, when you get used to the tool. If you don't like it, once you're done and you kind of get used to it, you can just turn it off, and all of that will disappear. Second thing is utilize our tutorial library. We have all kind of videos here. This is how to, and we have key features. 1 or 2, we have some key features. We'll also have provide that for you too. So so essentially that's dashboard, that's template resources, and also that's tutorial library and textbook mode. This is for all of those who are new to the tool, as well as have not been able to explore the tool more in depth. Please check this out. You won't regret. I mean, watch this series, and I have so many people come to me and say that this is extremely helpful, and it helped them tremendously in constructing their SEO campaign. All right, so let's go into the first one, which is forming topic cluster. And to form topic cluster, you use our topic discovery tool. For example, here, you click on it. just put in your seed keyword, choose your location and the language. I have one here already, nutrition plan. So the location is American, United States, and language is English. So the mechanism behind this is, why do we think, well, the mechanism is to find all the subtopic needed for you to establish your expertise status in Google standard, right? So the way you do that, the way we do that is we actually look for the top 100 URLs that rank for this keyword, nutrition plan, right? And we go into their content and we scan all the subtopic that they write about. So it means that these are the subtopic that are being written by ranking websites. So if the subtopic are already being ranked on Google, it means that in Google's eyes, these are the topic in which you need to cover, because this is the topic that Google understand as experts, right? So for example, if you talk about nutrition plan, you need to talk about, well, I usually will kind of search volume first to see workout plan. You have to cover about workout plan as well. So if you talk about nutrition, you may want to use workout as one of the subtopic. There's a weekly meal plan. There's a macro meal plan. There's cutting meal plan. There's a cardiac diet plan. So that's good for your heart. Shredded liquid thyroid. It's so many different subtopics that you could actually cover. So if you cover all these subtopics, and when Googlebot go in your website, they will right away see that, okay, there's a map of different topics that support the main topic here. That's how you establish almost like a topic cluster, right? Essentially, that's how it is. And once you get in here, you can actually sort them by relevancy. So if you sort them by, usually I put that medium. If you sort them by widely, relevancy is measured by how relevant this main subtopic it is to the main keyword, right? So for example, you put it widely, you'll see like 100 subtopic. But if you put it as medium, you probably find about 38 topic. I usually put it medium. I recommend put a medium, and I usually probably will start with search volume to put in order, so that you see what are the popular subtopic that you could actually utilize. So once you have this set out, you can actually click on each of the subtopic, and from here you'll be able to see these are all the headlines to consider. These are the headlines from the top 100 URLs who are ranking for that main keyword. So if you'd like to read any of this, you can just click on here and it will actually pop out the content for you to see. So over here, there's Google Suggest Insight as well. We provide you with different Google Suggest Insight. Break down to different things like need question, preposition, and comparison. Kind of like Google. What is it? What's that website that's really well known for this? People also ask for something, but anyways, and then we have related Google search down here. All right, so in each of these top topics, you can do the same thing. You can explore different headlines. If you like some headlines, you could just add them into a keyword list, just as I do here. Create a new list, and then the list will be saved here. So this essentially is your keyword list database. You can just access here to see all the lists that you save. Right? Anything you find that interesting, you can save that into a list. So so essentially that's the idea of topic discovery. It's important for you to understand the mechanism behind, because otherwise you'll be like, oh, I want to find all this topic and then I just write about them. No, you have to structure them first before you do it. In more in depth, please go into our tutorial library and go to topic discovery here and then watch the tutorial, or you could just simply go into your dashboard and watch this first step, because it's quite complex. So in here I explain a lot more in details and with better logic for you to follow. So that's the first step, right? And once you're done with this, you can go into our keyword explorer. So for example, here I already have the keyword nutrition plan. Essentially, the tool is this is where, first of all, we get all the data directly from Google Keyword Database, as well as Google Suggest Database. so that we have a very large sort of database. So for example, nutrition plan, we can provide you with 3,241 keywords. That's the complementary database of Google keyword database as well as Google Suggest, right? Second thing is we do have Ahrefs data for the top SERP overview over here. So you can actually click on this and you will see all the Ahrefs data. Right? If you don't understand anything, just turn on textbook mode and we have everything kind of explained for you quite clearly here. So this is just a presentation, overall view of the keyword itself. Now I go down to this, right? This is the list of all the keyword. So I think we don't have a lot of time. So for you to understand more in depth, just go on to our site again and watch the videos. But essentially, there's a few things I want to highlight. First of all is our golden score features. What we developed is that during the time when we were doing SEO for our clients, we realized that there's no tool in the market that help users quickly determine what are a good long tail keyword for you to target, right? And we realized that there's one search operator that does that job really well, and that's all in title. And all in title data essentially is a search operator that tells you how many times does the keyword include in the title of the web page. For example, if you have a keyword nutrition plan, this would be the amount of time in which nutrition are included in a web page, right? So it's 95,600 times. So there's 95,600 websites writing about nutrition plan and have the keyword include in the title. So it means that there's 95,600 websites that are trying to compete for this keyword. You do not want to compete for this keyword. That's such a hard keyword to do. So, but when we start doing it, we have to do it manually. So what we have to do is you go into Google and we do like all in title, and then put in fantasy nutrition plan like that, and you click, and it'll provide you this, right? So you can't do that by hand, right? So what we have to do is we have to develop a technology that are able to search for a massive amount of all entitled data at once. And this is actually our proprietary technology. There's no other tool in the market able to do it as well, as fast, as effective, and as cheap as we do at the moment. You can actually do research on this. We're very cheap compared to many other tools. So that's us, okay? So using that, you will be able to see right away if there's a keyword that has very low all in title but very high in search volume, that is a very good keyword. So for example, if you do this, right, there's 0 all in title, and you do this, then you will have like this list of keyword. Right away, you have a very like meal plan for building muscle and losing fat woman. That's a keyword. People search for this. 390 search volume a month. Extremely, this 0, nobody target for this keyword. You could literally just bring this keyword and put into your title, and you probably be able to rank it, right? And you'll right away get this. So as you see, as you scroll down, all these lists of keyword are very long tail keyword. You don't even need to do anything else, and right away you see the power of this kind of keyword. Extremely effective at finding long tail keyword instantaneously. So that's the first thing. I mean, there's a lot more in depth. We provide you also a Zen matrix, how you utilize. Also, we provide you with like 2 way of filtering potential values, where we develop our own algorithm of this really sophisticated sort of mathematical algorithm to kind of help you find out what keyword belong to what phase of your SEO campaign. So just kind of go in here and watch the video. You can just click on here and you'll be able to watch the videos. See how did we do that and how you can utilize that to your own workflow. But this is extremely unique and it's very powerful. Please utilize that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is we have this thing called ESKP configuration. We'll change that to forecast. Essentially, it will give you an idea of how much you will earn on the list of keyword that you target. Let's say you target this list of keyword, you click on it, that's 3,000. Click on this, and you just kind of put in your CR as conversion rate. You know your conversion rate, let's say 2.5%. Average revenue per keyword, per traffic. Let's say you earn $30 per conversion. expect revenue per month. Let's say I want to earn like $30,000. So we'll do like a quick right away, like a measure or calculation to see how much traffic you will may be able to earn from this list of keyword, how many sales you will be able to do, how much revenue you will be able to earn, and then the difference between the goal you set out. So you kind of like, you can see top 3, top 5, top 10, for example, you still, or top 5, you still make your goal. So it's quite useful if you have a client or you're planning on your own SEO campaign. It's very useful. Yeah, and then a bunch of different kind of very useful filter that you can see. Second tab here is insight. This is where you could be able to kind of just see how this list of keyword break down to like questions, preposition, conversion, alphabetical, numerical, all those basic stuff. Click on this and you see these are all the question of what, right? Question of is, question of how, question of where. So yeah, so those are essentially, that's keyword research, keyword explorer. But it fit into a workflow. So let's say you filter out a list of keyword that you really like. You can save that keyword. Save that keyword into a list, right? And once you have a list out, you'll be able to move into the next stage where you group the keyword that have similar ranking probability together. So let's say, because this is the process in which take us like forever to do. It's extremely manual. What it is that you have to find keyword that have same root keyword. Let's say nutrition plan for old people and nutrition plan for aged people. Those keyword have the same meaning, and if you try to rank for both, you can just write one article and then include both of these keyword into one, right? So the next process is, once you determine the keyword list, you will want to import that into our keyword importer. And from here, you'll be able to group them into a group of keyword like this. So you just kind of select and then kind of activate the cluster function. How to do that? Go into our tool and then kind of watch the videos, because it's quite long. The process is quite long. It will probably take you about half an hour, but it's quite fast, because relatively compared to how we did it in the past, it required like 3 people manually do it in over the course of 3 days for a list of keyword of like 2,000 keyword. It's very painful. So this is very useful too. So once you have a list of keyword like this, let's say, what is a good hook sentence? You could literally just write one article, what is a good hook sentence, and you include all of this keyword in that article. And if one of the keyword rank, as there's a high chance you'll be able to rank for the rest of the keyword too. So that's one of the way for you to kind of save a lot of your effort and time in order for you to earn more search volume into it. So once you group this become a list of article that you will write, right? So determine your keyword list and determine your content structure, determine your subtopic, determine your keyword list under each of the topic that you will write about, and then group them into a different group of articles, and then you go to execution, right? So this is only when you're done with all these steps and you're very, very well prepared for whatever planning that you do, then you go to content creator. And so in content creator, essentially the purpose is for you to craft content, right? So for us, crafting content, we break them down to 3 steps. The first is you need to build an outline. Second is you have to find all the keyword needed to include in your content. And finally is to write your content. So you don't just simply go in there and right away start writing. So from here, for example, if you already have a keyword nutrition plan, you can create that outside, and you also have a deadline here. So in order for you to build an outline, you'll need to kind of utilize a few things. So first of all, you want to know what are the top 20 competitors are doing, right? You know your competitors. You want to know exactly how they create their outlines in a way that is competitive and that helps them to rank. So we provide them with that insight here. And second data point is you want to see from Google Suggest, right? What are the questions people ask? What are the topic people discuss? What are people compare? Because you can include this idea into your heading and your outlines. So to capture users to capture Google what is it, user search intent, right? And the way you do it is you just simply click on this competitors, and you'll be able to see them here right away. So the first thing we provide you with few views. The first is summary views. So this is summary views of the content of your competitors. Right. Second thing is you can utilize our AI assistant where we use GPT-3 captures for you to use different templates from here. It's a bit complicated to use, but once you get a hang of it, you will find it extremely powerful and very easy to use. Right. So once you find something you like, you can just simply double click on it and it will appear here onto your outlines. So as you can build your outlines, you can just double click. Or if you want to expand some idea, you just one click and you'll be able to utilize our AI shortcut. So our AI will provide you with different templates that build specifically for outline building. For example, let's say topic to question list, and we'll provide you with this. And there's a topic you can generate, and the AI will actually provide you with different questions. And you can just simply click add, and it will be in here, right? You could actually utilize the AI from here as well. Just click on this, and let's say question 2 bullet point answer. So, okay, I want to generate bullet points here. Click on it, will give you like different bullet points. If you like something, you can generate even more. If you like something, you just keep add on to whatever you like underneath this question, which is a heading, and you just select all and you turn that into bullet. Bam. And you have yourself a paragraph, right? So it's a bit hard to get a hang of it in the beginning, but it's seriously super powerful once you really understand the in and out of this. So we'll provide you with this like 3 panel views, and you can just access all the comparator here. We put a lot of effort in the details, a little bit of small stuff that we put in there to make your life a lot easier into building your content here. You can always utilize our AI here to help you write your title as well. So as you click on here, you'll be able to kind of generate different title ideas, right? And once you click on it, let's confirm, you can actually generate a description for that title as well from here. If you would like anything, you click continue. See, I like this, just click on it. Yeah, there it is. So once you have that, that's how you basically just play around with the tool. But once you get a hang of it, you'll find that extremely powerful for you to use. And once you're done with the outlines, you go into the second step, which is to include the keyword. So we break them down. First of all is competitive keywords. These are the keywords your competitor are trying to rank for. The way we do it is that we actually scan their content and look for the keyword that have search volume that they're competing on, right? And we show you how many times they are used in their content, how many times they are used in their headings, and how many usage we suggest you should have in your content, search volume, the relevancy, and all that stuff. So you can see, but if it's not so relevant to your main content, we're not going to even include that in here, right? So the reason why I suggest you to do this is because you want to make sure that the keyword in which your competitor include and try to rank for, you should also include, because that's how you kind of signal to Google that you know what you're doing. Right. Second thing is opportunity keyword. Opportunity keyword are some of the keyword in which your competitor that appear in Google Suggest and Google's keyword database, but your competitor doesn't really have it yet. So we kind of show you in here. You turn on text mode. We have a very clear explanation for you here, what it is. So you can just turn on and hover it. And finally is Google NLP entities. Google NLP essentially is the type of entity you should include so that Google, when they go in, they understand the context and meaning you try to provide. It's a little bit complex of an idea, but please go into like watch tutorial library and Google NLP here. It's really is the future, because you want to make sure that when a Google bot go in, first of all, when a Google bot go into your content, they do 3 things. The first, they want to check and see if your structure is well optimized, SEO optimized. How many headings you have, how many images you have, how many paragraphs you have. Do your image are optimized already? Do your website are fast and load well? And then they'll look for the keyword that you try to target, right? What's your main keyword? What is the highlighted keyword? What is your secondary keyword? Do you actually have keyword that your competitor also have? And then they will look for the entities that you include, because the entities are what make them understand what you're trying to convey, right? Why it is and how it is. This is a whole concept of Google NLP. Please watch our videos here, and or you read our materials for you to easily understand. Yeah, so once you're done with that, you kind of just include all the keyword that will support the content you build in the first steps, and you would then have a list of outlines here, right? So that's here come into your crafting content. So we try to redesign this whole panel and help you to focus only on your writing. So as you can see, you can just do like copy this whole thing to your editor. So you have the layout, and then let's say you start with this, and the first thing we develop this bullet point to paragraph kind of template, and you just click on the AI, and the AI will actually do the writing for you based on the bullet point that you already developed. So give it a bit. So here, so if you like this, you can just click copy, put that in here. Okay, that is, you have the first paragraph done. It's very well written. I think this is the most well trained AI that we built. It's the highest amount, and I think it's a yeah, it's like a top of the line AI from GPT-3 model. You also will be able to kind of utilize our built-in AI from directly from here, from our AI shortcut. You can do write for me. Simply click write for me, and the AI will actually take the input from whatever you have here to start writing the next step of your content. As you can see here. Yeah, sorry, this is going to the second heading, so you can turn that into just paragraph. There it is. All right, so we build in with a bunch of this, and then if you turn this AI assistant on, you can go in here, and we have auto write. We break templates down into different types. The first is auto write, and then you have outlines, and you have rewrite, right? A total of about 70 plus templates at the moment. You can also click on history and then access what you did in the past, as you can see here, and you can click on whatever outputs that you have in the past. And if you like those output, you find that those output better, you can copy and put that in here as well. So you will always be able to access our AI horizontally as well as vertically. You'll never run out of ideas, or you will, I mean, we try to build our AIs as an assistant, not like a total replacement. You're the only, because you are the only one who know what is a good content, right? So that's the idea. You will have outlines, you have keyword to include here, you have data of your all the competitors, and you have a bunch of questions that include over here. These are all the things you set in the beginning, and we have a scoring system. You want to make sure that this is always in the A plus or A, B plus or A. That would be good. We have an analysis also, like a Yoast SEO will show you some of the things that you have not done, you should do, and some of the things that you've done well, and some of the things that you can improve, right? um, Over here are some of the other content, like you can share this to your freelancer. All right, you can allow them to use to see some of the data comparator, check plagiarism, or see related questions. So you can access the note here. You can import content from your website, or import from directly from a file. You can see your deadline here. Yeah, so I mean, once you're done with the content, you can just utilize our plagiarism checker to click confirm, and then have it do the work for you before you publish your content. So when all this done, that's it. That's the final step of a single SEO campaign workflow, right? So so yeah, I think that's that. I'm very sorry it went on a bit because the tool is quite complex. But honestly, you will need to you need to go into to watch the videos in order to understand like in depth of how each small tool work.
Thank you for sharing that, Dan. That was mind blowing, from topic clusters to the writing. And I really love how you mentioned that the AI is just meant to be an assistant because only you know your content. Really, really love that. Okay. So, shall
Yeah,
we proceed to the questions?
Yeah, I mean, let me share quickly a bit on some of our future roadmap
Okay,
before
sure
we
thing.
get there. Again, we have a very clear mission, and our mission is to simplify your content workflow. Right? Anything that's out of the scope of the mission, we will not do. So a lot of people, a lot of time you'll see like, hey, why don't you do backlinks and all that stuff? For us, it doesn't, at the moment at least, it doesn't serve the mission we do. So we'll not be focusing on that. Everything we'll do will only focus on the mission itself. So the first of the thing is in Q2 2020, which is in June, we're trying to complete the team functions, where you'll be able to kind of add on your team mention, share the limits. You will be able to have a whole complete like project management for your content creator, where you can add your freelancer, check their progress, set up your content calendar, publishing and all that stuff. Probably integrate with WordPress, third party, and so on and so forth. So that's first step. Second is we're going to enhance our golden filter. We're going to add on another dimension to make our golden filter even crazier, like even more accurate. You'll be able to actually detect extremely accurate, high performing keyword, long tail keyword. And that's likely into Q3 2022. We'll do some competitor analysis from the data we get from keyword cluster. You'll be surprised. It will be a huge surprise. But I found it's very very good, and that's probably in the Q3 as well. And then we'll probably move into more integration. So we integrate with a bunch of different apps, integrate with a bunch of different things, maybe with an on-page partner, and then so we can open API and whatnot. That'll be next year. So from 2022 to 2023, we have a very clear roadmap, and that is how we will proceed forward. So hope that answer a lot of the questions of people who may have regarding our our roadmap. Yeah. Okay, we can go to Q&A.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Dan. Love your direction. Okay. So, Kay Fani says, also please explain about golden keyword. How can I use it for better ranking?
Yeah, I think again, like I said, you just go into our tool. You can you'll be able to access our library, tutorial library. I mean, you click on tutorial library, and there will be a dedicated videos when I talk very in depth about that, as well as written article about how we build golden filter and how you can utilize that. Right? It's better to go in there and watch it instead of me explaining now. It's long.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
There's just a good comment here from Grant. Looks like they have tutorials for beginners like us, and it seems pretty intuitive to simplify the process. Okay. Um, Imran says, yeah, they have good tutorials. It's easy to use. Okay, so Dean says, how long should a blog be on average?
That's very depends on your research. So one of the things we have in Content Creator is that we will show you the word counts of all the top 20 competitors, and we'll suggest you that you need to write your blog 70 at least longer than 70% of your competitors. So let's say we count the average and we find that it's like 1,002 keywords. So we suggest you at least writing more than 1,000 word counts. So the length of your blog post should always be aligned with your competitors. Longer you have everything you do better than them, there's a higher chance for you to rank.
Wow. All right. So Edinson says, I'm impressed at how much can be done with WriterZen. Great tool. Okay.
Yeah, it's very complex too, really. I mean, if you really have to dig down, and we have to, we're building an academy to teach you user to really utilize the tool.
Fantastic. David is asking, add a feedback tool like we could actually add markup or highlight anything on doc and share it with team, like comment in Word.
Oh yeah, we will. It's probably enhanced version of Content Creator. We'll probably add a comments session for that.
Okay, just a comment from Imran. Competitive analysis, need this feature based on cluster data. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so this is from Timothy Yo. Excellent ESKP feature in the Keyword Explorer, very useful. Some questions that I have. Okay, let's try with one first. One, are there plans for WriterZen to do a direct publish/draft into WordPress blog with a generated AI content for a seamless experience?
Yeah, that would be the integration. So this is where we will actually help you integrate directly to your WordPress. So you actually just need to craft content on WriterZen. I mean, that's how I imagine it to be, right? So you craft content on WriterZen, you set a calendar for it, and you click publish, and on that exact date, we'll do it all for you. You don't even need to do it. I will actually make sure that we'll have a SEO optimized kind of checklist for you so that before you publish, we'll make sure that all are done. And if you're not, we'll let you know. Something like that. I mean, that would be my imagination.
I love that. Ranveer is practically asked the same question, so we'll skip that. Let's go to Timothy's second question. Is there a way to track internally in WriterZen for generated article SERP when the article goes live? This helps to
Uh,
create visibility. Yeah, okay.
I think it's a keyword ranker, right? I think it's a feature that they're asking. Is it?
I'm not sure. I guess I'll continue this. This helps to create visibility on the performance of the generated content, and if needed, any further improvement can be done on the article.
Yeah, I think he's talking about keyword ranking features, tracking the rank of the article. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably build like a third party tool, and then we'll do like an integration, and you might need to pay for it though, because it's keyword ranker usually is hard for you to do lifetime deal because it costs you computing power.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be something we may provide you as a side service, but not something WriterZen will provide.
Okay. Third question: how is WriterZen plagiarism checker compared to Copyscape?
We're pretty good, but I think Copyscape is better simply because they pay for. I mean, they have this. It's all about cost for us, right? So we have to build a version where it's 90% good. Right? I'm going to be transparent with you, but we're not going to go bankrupt, right?
Love that.
But for example, if you want premium version, we could probably provide in probably next few months where we'll turn on and you pay for like a $3, $4, $5 extra, and but you will get as premium as it gets. In the world. We'll understand how it works in, let's say, Quitex or Copyscape. You know, they have this extra layer of technology. We could probably do that. It's just that we right now we have an economy game to play, so we decide to keep it as 80, 85, or 90%. So you're still going to be able to check plagiarism very well using WriterZen. But if you compare the two tools, you'll see sometimes we'll have some missing links, but it doesn't mean that we're missed entirely. We have some missing stuff, but it's very rare cases. Again, it's a 15% difference, and that's the cost. So,
I love that. Yeah. A very holistic approach we got here. Edinson asks, what is your limit to create monthly text?
right now, I think for if you're lifetime deal, first tier is 5,000, second tier is 8,000, for third tier is 15, and then fourth tier is 30,000. We do provide unlimited AI generated content using you have to purchase add-on, and that's $99 now. We may run a discount later, so maybe give it a wait. You know, we may run a discount, and you'll probably be able to get it a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Awesome. So Edinson says, I love WriterZen with a heart. Mark says, looking great. David says, what would you say are the main differentiators of WriterZen versus your main competitor, Surfer?
I don't think we are like similar to Surfer. Surfer is still a tool with with features. We focus on workflow. So you use WriterZen to build your campaign using the first tool like topic discovery to serve a very specific purpose. And that purpose isn't to just look for ideas, it's to build a cluster, right? And then Keyword Explorer serves a very specific purpose. And it's step by step. We don't just give you like features to solve a particular problem you have. You can use it, right? I think we use very world-class features already. Um, but but we suggest you to follow as workflow. So that's our approach. I think that's a fundamental difference.
Okay. So freelancer Sumon asks, is there any Chrome extension available?
Not yet. We'll probably build it in in no next year, Q1 2023.
Okay. Megan asks, such a great tool. Are the feature updates included in the AppSumo plan?
Of course, I mean, if you follow us since like the first time we launched on AppSumo, I think everyone who bought the first deal until now, they're very happy because every single updates we have, we always provide to all our users.
Okay. Niline mentions, I have observed very often WriterZen fails to pull all the header tags from a web page in the SERP. Is it just me?
No, it does happen sometimes. We'll probably improve the algorithm to scan that soon. We do have that feedback. I mean, it's always work in progress, right? It's technology. First version, second version, third version, and just continue to improve, just like the tool itself. And so when you buy in the tool, you don't just simply buy in the tool, you buy in the features of the tool. And you just observe the way we improve in the last 7 months. I mean, we wrote the first line of code for WriterZen in March 2021. And you look at the tool now with how complex it is and with all of the unique features we have. So one of the things we have to do is to prioritize what we want to improve first and what we'll do later, right? And how much resources we have. So that's how it is. We do notice this feedback do have. So I'll just admit to you right now, yes, it's not perfect, but it will be, give or take, sometime in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Edinson asks, WriterZen works for Spanish language?
Yes, I mean, well, the AI now does not. All of the tool we have right now support all languages, 46 different languages, 195 countries. We
Wow.
don't have front end Spanish, but the tools support all of that. Google NLP only support three language is English, Japanese, and Spanish. So yes, so it does support Spanish. AI right now, AI generated content only support English at the moment. We'll probably have multi-language support soon.
Okay. So we are about to hit the hour mark. We do still have some questions. Just in case, would you still be available for a maximum of 10 more minutes?
Sure, sure. I mean, I'd love to answer all the questions you guys may have.
Okay. Awesome. So David mentions WriterZen looks great, by the way. Just wondering what you think your strengths are versus the competition.
Again, I mean, we have a few things in which I think this is very interesting. You know, the other day I was talking to a friend of mine, and he asked me that question, but in a different way. And he asked me what, the questions was mentioned in the book called Zero to One by Peter Thiel, and is what is an important truth that very few people agree with you. And I thought about it for a moment. And I was like, oh, that's a very hard question to answer, right? And we thought about it, and I think my answer was, first of all, we try to sell. People think that they care about story. They try to sell a story, but I don't think they care about it enough. So people like to just sell features. That's why we take a different approach. We want to sell this whole story where you are the hero in that story. You start from a very fundamental place. You start from chaos. You start from nothing, and you start to pick up stuff here and there from topic, and then keyword and then list, and you build that into almost like this structure. And as you build, you become more confident of your ability and your direction. And the moment you start writing, you feel like at ease because you know that you are carry on a good direction. So we try to tell people that you are telling your own SEO story, and that's what we are selling. So I think that's the first fundamental difference. The second is we think that people think they really care about design, but they don't. Most people think design is like something that look nice, but it's not that. If you go into WriterZen, you see the complexity and the amount of data that we pack in there, but we try our hardest to actually take out as much as possible and try to make your workflow in our design as intuitively as possible. And it's very hard. It's not easy work. When you hover into a certain button and you see that it's turned dark, and if you click on it, it turned darker, and you release and it release back. That's design being communicative. So that you feel, why do you feel intuitive? Because you feel like you use the tool such natural. It's just so natural. It doesn't feel like subconsciously you don't feel uneasy. that's a good design. And we take pride in the way we put our design work in our tool. At no given moment, you'll see a discrepancy, like inconsistency in the way a shadow is. There's no part that has higher or more darker shadow than any other part. Or you don't see any inconsistency in the way a font is. A heading font will always be remain the same, with the same color, with the same weight, and a body text will always be the same. I mean, I know every single pixel in that tool. I know the radius of the curve of every card. I know the font size of each card. I know the code of the color of the duck side in each of that. And to me, that focus in that little details make our users feel at ease when they start using WriterZen. You may not find it in the beginning, but as you go in there, you'll feel little details that we put in there that's really different from other two, right? So I think that's the second. I think that, I mean, I would like to think of it as that. I mean, the other thing is we have some really unique features like golden field. You don't find any of that anywhere in the market, and you don't find any tool that build in keyword cluster as cheap as we do. It's very cheap at the cost that you pay right now. So yeah.
Fantastic. Your UI is a delight to behold. So UI, WriterZen specific features, economy, and the fact that you cover every step of the workflow.
Yeah,
Those,
yeah.
I think it's those
Thank you.
things.
That's a very good summarize of that. Yeah.
Fantastic. I would agree with that. Um, Ranveer is saying, I'm looking for Open API. Will it be launched in the next year?
OpenAI API.
Yeah, Open
Oh,
API.
Open API. Yes. So we're gonna. So that will be 2023. We're gonna start building our API provider. I think a lot of people are asking for that as well. So we have white label. We'll have that for a bunch of stuff layer already. Yeah.
Okay. Ivan asks, does WriterZen work in China?
Yeah, we do provide. We do support Chinese language.
Okay.
Not sure how good that would be because Google isn't really allowed in China, but you can try. I mean, give it a try. If it doesn't work, then you can just refund.
Okay. Zaid asks, are you planning to add backlinks tracking as well?
I don't think we have. I don't think we'll do that in the moment because I think that's not the way SEO will move in the next 5 years. You know, it was still there. It will be a part of SEO, but it will not be a major part. I see so many websites are now ranking using no backlink whatsoever.
Wow. That's incredible. Okay. Scanning. This has been answered already. Okay. Andy says, what about improved top 10 SERP analysis for a topic/keyword? For instance, identify user-generated content, or FB, Twitter, forum, Quora, etc., and low authority sites.
It's a good idea. We might do that. We might do that. We just take on idea of like that in. You have to answer the. You have to ask yourself a question first. Does it really help you rank your blog, or it's just more stuff for you to think about? You know, that will be always my questions. Why does it really help you? Right? So we always have to ask ourselves that question and being very honest with ourselves. Does it really help our users in the long run? If it doesn't, we won't do it. I mean, putting more stuff into a tool is very easy. Taking it out is hard.
Okay. I think you've already answered this, but just to be sure, can I add team members in my account? And if yes, how many and any limit?
That will be in Q6. We'll provide the information once we're done with the team function.
Okay. Imran says, superb, fantastic response, and thanks for answering. Edinson
Thank you,
says,
guys.
great. Mark says, great. Ranveer says, great. Edinson says, amazing. Just some great feedback overall, but I don't think we have any more questions.
That's good. I mean, thank you, guys. Appreciate the questions and appreciate Dave and Ken providing me with this opportunity. You know, always a pleasure.
Pleasure to have you here. We learned so much from you tonight, Dan, and thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, Ken, once again for the opportunity. So yeah, that's it for the end of the webinar. Don't forget to click on the link for the link to the AppSumo WriterZen page. Okay, this is the last time they're doing the LTD, so you
That's
might
the
want to
last
take
time.
advantage.
Grab it
Last
and
time, guys.
grab it while last.
Yeah,
We will never return. You will never see us ever again. We're ready already
yeah,
to the MRR stage. We don't need to run back. We don't need
yeah,
to go back to a lifetime deal. But we set a goal and we like to achieve that. We like to when we have a very specific timeline. This is
yeah.
the end of early market, and then the next will be mainstream. So we'll follow our timeline.
Yes, absolutely. I can definitely see Dan is serious about this. There have been other founders in the past that did not honor that but I don't think they had the same confidence that Dan has right now. Very clearly, they have the MRR to support this claim. And so, yeah, guys, get it now. This is the last LTD.
Yeah, please get it. I'm serious.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dan. Stay safe. Take care. Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks
Dave.
for
Have a
being
great day,
here.
everyone.
All
Bye bye.
right.